Hi guys. Okay. Yesterday I did something a bit different. Okay, so this save was our last save. The 429 one. That was the one where we defeated Hyborem and the Infernal Civilization. But we lost Baron doing Halfmoon, kind of like rather poorly in the process. Like he died on a 94% chance against a damaged longbowman. So I went back and I reloaded. I think it was this one, 426, and played the battle out again. And in the second playing, Hyborem hadn't come out of the city. You know, like that had surprised me that he'd actually come out of the city, still damaged. So he, in the second go at it, he'd stayed in the city until he was fully healed. But eventually we destroyed them. You know, ultimately in the end, you know, I lost quite a few catapults and my cheaper, more disposable units, if you like. But we kept the Baron. And that's this one here at the top. So I don't know. You know, maybe let me know, because I mean, what I'm thinking is, like, if you haven't really experienced this mod before and you haven't seen all the kind of crazy awesomeness of it, the fact that we never got to see the Baron doing his thing is a bit of a shame. I think because the Infernal are classed as undead, I don't think the werewolves, but he has to defeat living units for the werewolf chance to trigger, I think. So that's why we haven't seen any of that from him yet. So I've got two saves basically at the same point. One in which he died, which is the one we recorded, and then another one which played out a bit differently, but he survived, along with the other important kind of units in our army. But we'll carry on with, I think, this one. I hope this is right. I hope that's the right one. Yeah, okay, so we decided to build a second Beastmaster. Our other Beastmaster was going to the war that... There he is here. Like, really good unit if you look at those stats. You know, not a city attacking unit, but out in the field, you know, that he would have like 40% versus animals and a strength 14 unit, and then without the promotions. Then with the promotions, he's like extra hard. I can only have 4 of them, but when you're in a pinch, they're like very powerful units, and unlike hero units, if they die you can rebuild them again, so you can always kind of have them in your army, and if you keep them alive and keep upgrading them, they become quite powerful indeed. So yeah, this was the one where we'd defeated the Infernal and we'd lost the Baron. I'm kind of torn a bit about it. Like I said, just in terms of like people's experience of the mod, if you haven't seen that part of it, or seen the Baron used often, he's quite cool. I quite like the story we built around it, how like we'd gone around our nation, you know, the spies and the acolytes, trying to find the pieces of his body that had been like cut apart when he'd been destroyed in werewolf form in kind of the elder years, if you like, and then they brought it all together, like stuck his body in Radona, while the priests over in our holy Satyr of Conrond Moor, conducted the rites. You know, that took a while to sort of like bring life back into his sort of a rather odd-looking werewolf body. So that was quite cool. But like I mentioned at the time when we lost him, he's a bit of a dark unit. you know, his history isn't particularly kind of pleasant. You know, basically he was a cannibal. You know, and a sort of a terrible, as in like sort of evil general who would strike fear into his opponents, partially because of his reputation of being so ferocious and so just awful, like eating the bodies after the battles and all this kind of stuff. So not a particularly nice man, but you know, we have, you know, we've sort of worked out a bit now that Decius and the Calibim, there's something a bit odd about them. We had the Morai roaming through our lands and weird things were happening around them, like people were disappearing from the outlying villages in our empire, you know, and rumours of, you know, maybe the odd sort of person was found drained of blood with neck wounds and stuff. So we know there were sort of vampirish aspects to them, and in the way the Baron kind of provides the counterpart to the vampires in this kind of reality of this Fall from Heaven universe, in that he sort of spawns not exactly a faction, but he spawns the werewolves, if you like. So you can have quite a lot of fun with him and his werewolf army. I mean, yeah, good in times of war, not really so good in peace. But so the options there. I mean, I'm going to carry on from this point, like our original point where he died. But if anybody has comments and you're like, hey, yeah, actually I would be interested in seeing the game carry on with him alive and kind of seeing how that works, then I have that other save, which is basically from this point. But we will carry on with him dead at the moment. I don't think there's much to do here, so let's then go. Actually, one thing to note here, look at the Armageddon counter. I think we were... Did we get to 20? We were close. I think it might have been 18 or 19. From 10 is when bad stuff happens. I think 20 is a trigger for something else. So by defeating Hyborem and the Infernal here, we basically knocked, you know, between 8 and 10 points off this Armageddon counter, which is really a good thing, especially for like my people Hippus and the Fellowship of Leave's followers. It's a good thing. Oh yeah, here we go. So it seemed like, just because the culture was so strong from the Infernal capital city here, it took all the influence around this city that Mahala had made, and it looked like they had a rebellion. I think they'll get it under control now. They've got enough units in there, and I think it was just that influence that was causing this problem. So that should restabilize again. Oh, should I take this opportunity to destroy that? Maybe. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe it's not my business. Okay, so we'll end turn there. So it's like the calm after... Oh, okay, yeah, it's probably just well I didn't. The calm after the storm, isn't it? It's a funny feeling. I mean, that first encounter, like when Caradoc kind of like did the final blow. Oh, what? Oh. Why? Oh. Basically begging to be our vassals. I mean, I've worked out now who they are. Do I want to save a vampire race? I mean, they haven't been a problem, but this would suggest to me that things are quite desperate for them. obviously. So Mahala's really pushing. I kind of think, yeah, I'm sorry, but you're so far away from us. And, you know, the stories I've heard about you and your people, you know, I'm not sure that we could get along that well, ultimately. I'm sorry about that, but fate is as it is sometimes. Oh. Okay, well, he gave us, like... I mean, we gave him quite a nice tech, but we gave him iron working, didn't we? I don't really know a lot about these guys. I mean, they're good, we're neutral, they're dwarves, we're human. I don't know if I want to give them this one. I don't know why they would want that one. It's kind of a bit odd. And he actually could have offered to give us a bunch of stuff for it. So, to be honest, no. I think I'd rather give him drama. Maybe... which one? Maybe element... yeah, maybe that one. Okay, so we did do a little trade with him in the end, and we got a magic thing. Oh, we got more of these guys. Oh, goodness. Yeah, we did. So that's Caradoc, and he's got that strange thing, the Gela. Which I think basically just makes him immune to fear, which could be useful. Okay, well let me get... so we've got these two. Yeah, let's get him that way. I don't know if we need these guys here anymore. I mean, this guy, probably, because he's giving us a nice oversight. There. Okay, now you. I'm tempted to actually send him up to this city here. Oh, my shattered army. So who have we got left? We actually... a lot of our catapults survived amazingly. We lost all our Satyr, we lost all our champions. I mean, we've got our heroes, we've got... oh no, well, we haven't got the Baron, but we've got Kithikarel, we've got our giants. Curly, Mo, Larry. Larry's the name I always forget, so Larry, Curly and Mo. We've got our giants, friendly giants. Yeah, it looks like we lost an archer. We lost an archer and a druid, or priest of leaves. What else did we lose? We lose the two champions. We lost the two satyrs. We've probably lost a horse archer here or there. We've got our Hyborem's Bane promoted once. So one of the reasons I wanted to give him a special name was just because it was such an awesome strike that he did on Hyborem. It was just very heroic, and he had like literally no chance at all, and he did big damage, so he deserved it. And I wanted to give him the name just to make him stand out, so that if I get a great general or something like that at some point, like we did with Caradoc, I'll be able to use the great general to turn him into an actual hero unit. and I think he probably deserved that. Okay, well we've got to go home, yeah. Everyone's going home, so let's get all our armies together and let's head home. Oh, I've got some promotions. Okay, let's. It's not you. It's not you. It's not you. Not you. Oh, yay! Curly got a promotion. Well, he's been fighting undead, so I'm going to give him 40% versus undead. Oh, we got one more. Nice. Okay, and then we'll just do some resting up healing. Okay, end turn. So our war horses are coming. I suppose the blazing sword has moved in promise. This going to take you to the Camelus, and your profits won against tempting diplomacy. Okay, interesting. Yeah, so I guess we've sort of started to try and domesticate this herd of like superb quality horse on the plains of Mokka's Fall, and it's just taking us time to work out how to tame them. I guess they're quite feisty and unruly and have a lot of temperament about them. And then should he build a... we can go up there. Oh, well, no, they're going to get there anyway. Now I can't cross past there, so that is about as north as that guy goes. This guy's in a really good place, so we're going to keep him there. You know, he's got 50% bonus there from his defensive situation. Yeah. Okay, nice. I mean, I suppose like we will now switch back to sort of the original campaign, which was to take out these barbarian strongholds, and I guess try and consolidate some sort of border going up here against Mahala. Oh, look at this shattered world, and they sort of left behind. So I don't know who lives in these. Maybe they're abandoned. Maybe like, I don't know, who would want to live there? Maybe the rogues, and a mixture of kind of rogues from Mahala's civilization, you know, those Doviello that just couldn't even fit into the savage society of Mahala. They kind of move into this abandoned, desecrated kind of land. Maybe the odd sort of barbarian as well that just didn't fit in. Become a little hodgepodge. No clear identity, just eking out a living in this disgusting, filthy land. It's a scar on the landscape, and it really offends. Like the priests of Leaves in our religious centre, they're horrified. You know, what's happened here. I mean, they don't know exactly yet, so we'll see. I guess. Yeah, well, the priest of Leave that's with us, that he'll come back bringing the news, and he all the way back he's just complaining and bitching about how this is just a slight against the Fellowship of Leaves. So maybe we'll try and do something about it. I don't know what, but yeah. So we'll shift back. They'll come home. Maybe they'll go to Mokka's Fall, have a bit of like rest and recuperation. Our money's okay. Can I increase the tax now? That's the question. Yes. Okay, well that's better. What happens if I go one more? No. So that brings it down a bit. Okay, so maybe I've still got some financial stuff coming online. So we've got tax office there. The Bazaar of Mammon will be great. That'll be a big boost. Another tax office. So I might be able to bump our science up to 90. I think I would like to do that. We've got, you know, what started out as a campaign to sort of destroy Myrene and get rid of this, basically for our people would have been an eternal source of problems and conflict. What started out like it ended up against a fight against the demon of this realm, the devil of our universe, and stories to tell their grandchildren. But let's head back. Come home, guys. You did the right thing for the right reasons. Come home and rest. Yeah, okay, so they're still... Yeah. No, this is between you guys, really. Stop bothering me about it, okay? So we've got our tax office. So this is our science and technology centre, isn't it? Okay, we could build Theatre of Dreams. Don't know if it suits it. Oh, that could... Magic as a science. I mean, in this universe, this reality, I guess it could be. So I might do our first major guild. So we might use Radanor as... You know, we have the Holy City and I want to kind of keep that sort of pure and sacred in a way. But here they're experimental, they do different stuff. So we're going to try this maybe newfangled magic thing that we've recently learnt about. From our allies, actually, they're dwarf across sea somewhere. But, you know, these guys, I don't know how they're going to fit in with our people, I really don't. I mean, I've got an idea how to better use them. I think I'm going to send them there. It's a shame Oh, he was on there. Oh, it pushed me off. Interesting. Their culture expanded. I mean, I guess actually, yeah, I'm going to bring him back round. I mean, he'll stay put, definitely. So this is what I'm not getting. It seems like they're at war, but that Morai unit is just freely walking around. No one's giving him grief. I want you... to come down there. Okay. Because I think what I'm going to do is... I don't really need this guy up in this area. What happens like up this way is really just the concern of Mahala and Decius. I'm going to bring him down and probably stick him about here. Because what I'm thinking is, in our campaign now, which is to keep pushing these barbarian cities out, once our guys have come back, Tomocus Fall had a rest, we'll head up maybe through Claramachir and then this way and start taking these cities across here. And I'll keep a scout here because I'm thinking I might put a city in here for when this one's eventually dealt with. Because there's a couple, you know, it'll be quite nicely placed in many ways. It'll be defensive this way because it's on the hill from the plain. We'll have rice, wheat, copper and sheep. So it's got a good selection of sources, and it will just add this buffer against Mahala. yes, that isn't going to be a place people are going to cross. So if we do one there, and I think we were thinking one here, like we talked about it ages back, because we would get that incense. It would be defended this way with the water, and then this way is a desert, and that has no bonus. So any army coming around to attack it from any direction would have difficulty. So I think we would do one city there. So we're looking at one up there, one here, and this would be quite a good one as well, because we'd have that the mana source, and as we're researching magic, starting to, maybe we could find a use for that kind of thing. And then we have these resources here as well. So that would be a second one. We might even consider getting this one in that we talked about way back at the beginning as being a great spot, but too close to Mahala. At the moment, we've, you know, if Mahala wanted to have a fight, she wouldn't win. So I'm feeling confident enough that we could upset her and stick a city there. That's such a great defensive spot from the point of view of Mahala being an enemy. So we're going to put one there. So we'll have a nice western border. 1, 2, bit of a gap here. 3. So he may end up being on like permanent kind of like fixture to that forest, just to block stuff. So we'll see. But I think that's an option. Yeah, and if we were to go further north, I was thinking we would probably put one in there, and that would give us. Oh no, it wouldn't. Yes, it would. Yeah, we'd get the cow, the dye, and the silk, and that would be a nice spot. We'd have to get rid of these guys. So I can see the potential expansion. Okay, let's end that turn. Money's still looking good. Some of my port towns, I think I've got 2 on the coast, and they've heard tales of some people that have circled all around the world, which they find ridiculous because everyone knows the world is flat. Ooh, maybe that wasn't a good idea. I should have flown my hawk first. Oh. Yes. What are they in attack, actually? Let me just go back and check. Okay, yeah, this is what I'm thinking. I want one of you to come here. And I want all of you. Oh, it looks horrendous. So what is this? This is a floodplain, so it has to be fine. Okay, that's alright, that's better. Because I was thinking, how are they gonna like fit into our society? Would we just leave them roaming around by themselves? I don't think so. So they're gonna be, in a way, they're gonna be looked over. So they're gonna be sort of the gang masters, if you like, our hippos guys. And then they will have these guys do all the hard labour. Yeah, you know. Maybe we'll start to be nice to them once they prove their worth and paid us back. Okay. So, that's the current state of play. I'm kind of happy with how that's going. I'm kind of happy either way, of like, you know, if you like, the Baron, the life of the Baron being the cost of defeating Hyborem. even if he died like very, what's the word? I'm sorry for the word. He just, it was a poor death for such a great and feared general. It really wasn't great. But he's been dead a long time. Maybe he's a bit rusty. So I'm happy with him not being there. But if people think that we could carry on with him included, just to kind of see how he works out, I've got that other save that I did try out. So by all means, leave a comment, and we'll see how far we go. Okay, take care. Oh, I better save this. So we're on turn 433, so we don't get confused. LP. Oh, come on, you. Yeah, so it's the 431 one. That's the one where the Baron doesn't die, but Hyborem is defeated, and then that's the one that we originally played. Now, and this is the one we played just now. Okay, save that. Alright guys, stay safe, stay well.